Voice I have left to be able to talk with. Yeah, it was incredible. I will say this, that we all knew what was going on with the Islander game. Let's get that out of the way. We did not have a TV. However, everybody that was there had their phones out who were Islander fans. And my friend Kyle Ziegler, Brent's son Kyle, his girlfriend was at the game. Okay. So she was FaceTiming with him, and he was giving me the updates. And, the thing was, man, Matt went top shelf. That's all anybody was talking about. And certainly we had the cutouts of Matt there. We had his wedding cutout, of course, and then we had him in his Islander jersey. And then Darcy brought out her Ranger jerseys for me and Gunnar and Sydney to wear. Me, Gunnar, and her to wear. Yeah. Sydney, as you can see in the picture that they're showing on CNBC, is like
CBS Sports Network.
CBS Sports. Yeah. What am I saying? CNBC. I can't even talk.
Wow.
Okay. So it's I don't know. It's just there's so many emotions. It's really even hard to put into words. So just so people understand, so Gunnar having cystic fibrosis, it's not easy for him and his chosen person to become pregnant, and they have to go through a lot of IVF stuff, and Gunnar has to, it's Gunnar's natural baby. They have to go into him and go get the sperm and then be able to fertilize the egg. After Darcy has gone through all of this IVF stuff, what the women go through in this, I know from you. Yeah. But I also now got a really full-blown description of what Darcy went through. And then to listen to what Gunnar went through, and then for them to have this happen, and then for them to tell me Thursday night. So we had dinner with the Cunninghams, Darcy's parents, who are just absolutely lovely, and the home is beautiful, and it's up there in the Berkshires. It's just, it doesn't get any more majestic than this. Yeah. And they hand me my Father's Day gift, which I think is a book, maybe like, how to be a better person or something. You never know what they're going to give you, right? So I open it, and there is a lucite frame with the sonogram in it. And me and City lost it. Yeah. That's it.
Well, so you're someone who I've seen maybe cry once since I've known you. Yeah. And I know you haven't stopped crying the entire weekend. And this is as special as it gets.
And I knew you were going to do this to me. So in the middle of all of this, I now know that this is going on. And now that I know this, and Sydney knows this, she and I are we can't handle this. So, of course, the weekend goes on, and we get to the wedding. We kind of forget about it a little bit. The amazing thing is how many women that were at the wedding kind of knew that there was something up. Yeah, They couldn't tell, but there was something up.
They got that sixth sense,
My friend Harvey's wife, Ellen, says to me, Sydney's pregnant again. I'm like, no, Sydney's not pregnant again. If you've watched her watch these hockey games with her wags, with the girlfriends, and she's not pregnant. I'm telling you right now.
A lot of white clothes.
Right. Yeah, she's not pregnant. But she goes, I know something. And she was like one of 3 different women who had said something to me about something's going on. Now, a bride is going to just absolutely be stunning anyway. They all look beautiful. I don't care. Anybody been to a wedding, everybody has to see the bride. Yeah. But there's something about Darcy now that is completely glowing. And she's pregnant. I know this. The family knows this. I guess she told her bridesmaids that day, and they all had a meltdown like we did. Yeah. But when she told the wedding, or when Gunnar told the wedding, as they walked into the reception, it was like the Coliseum all over again. I mean, people standing and cheering, because both of them have so many close friends that it came together under this one tent for this one night and this one moment, that it is almost hard to even put into words the feelings that come along with it. So, I was thinking, I've given 1,000 speeches about cystic fibrosis, this, thing, talking about multi-organ disease and all this other stuff and everything Gunnar and everybody like him have to go through. And then to sit there and understand that, that he has gone through all of this to this point and gotten to this point, and then finds the woman of his dreams and has a baby with her, or will have a baby with her, it's incomprehensible. It's so hard to even understand. So all of these speeches I ended with, I want him to have the privilege of being a father someday and to outlive me. So I don't know what to tell you. That's all I kept thinking in the back of my head, and that's how it impacted me. But to see the two of them, come together and to feel everything that was going on, and the amazing thing that Darcy and Kristen, her mom, and Kevin, her dad, and how they hosted the entire weekend of this unmitigated joy. And the first time that all of us had been together because of COVID rules.
Sure.
Was just incredibly, incredibly impacting for everybody who was there. And I'll leave you with one story, and then we can get into the sports. But I'm standing there right before Gunner's getting ready to give a speech, and my friend Lisa O'Brien Guckert comes over to me. Now, Lisa is the widow of Timmy O'Brien, one of the guys who helped me start my foundation for cystic fibrosis. And he got me to Howard Lutnick, who gave me the space in the World Trade Center and everything else. And Lisa comes over and she goes, my head's tingling. I'm like, okay, your head's tingling. Are you okay? You're gonna be fine. She goes, Timmy's with us. I can feel him. And I said, well, if you could feel him, wait until about 30 seconds. But I didn't, because I didn't want to tell her.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Gunnar gives the news that they're pregnant, and she lets out a whelp like I couldn't believe. And that was kind of like I think I caught it, Eddie. Is that right? Eddie was there. I thought Eddie was going to collapse. But.
Yeah, and the thing was that, you get announcements at weddings, and some people are just not fully aware of the story, but it was more impactful because everyone there knew what was going on and what had led up to this.
Yeah.
So it was, everyone. So it was even more impactful.
You told me it was the all-time mic drop moment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can't do better than that. And when I had heard and I saw it on social media, I had Sabrina over my parents, and Gina calls me up and she's on the phone crying. Yeah. Generally, that doesn't mean good things,
right?
And we shared a moment. The first thing I thought about was, since the diagnosis and all the pictures, you think back, the cover of Sports Illustrated and everything, you have been working and working and working, and for this was the moment.
Exactly.
This is what you were every single day. And there it is. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go grab it.
Hold on. No, Eddie got that frame for my birthday. Like, I don't have enough of those. Thanks, Eddie.
Well, you told me to.
Yeah, so that's where it started. Yeah.
That's where it started. But it was like, and then seeing that Frank DeFord piece and, how, we all said, Boomer's work ethic, and you said you're doing it all for the foundation, you're doing it all for Gunner, you're doing it all for the CF patients, and it was all, every minute, every sleepless night was for that picture that you got.
Yeah, and I can't even begin to tell you the amount of gratitude that I have for everybody who's been along this journey since 1993, from the JET organization, who initially was the one that allowed me to kick the whole thing off, and Mr. Hess was incredibly kind to us and to my family, and to the NFL that has given me the platform, to CBS, ABC, Inside the NFL on Showtime, this radio station. I remember coming on with Imus many times talking about this and just trying to put a face on it and just trying to carry on the torch from Frank DeFord and so many other families that went before us. Even Gunnar said to me the other night, he goes, Dad, I can't even imagine what it must have been like for a lot of families that unfortunately couldn't actually have this dream and feel this. So yeah, they blew us all away. They blew me away. And then Matt scoring the game-winning goal. I mean, I'm up on the stage, and I got him in his uniform, and I'm holding his hand. My son-in-law just scored the game-winning goal. Let's go. The city's like, we got to go get an effing lottery ticket. I mean, yeah. It was just amazing. And I guess, of course, I didn't see the whole game. I saw some of the highlights and stuff like that. I'm assuming because of the way Matt was playing, I don't know, it was like he was possessed, somebody said.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe he was, and maybe he wasn't. But I don't know, for us and our family and for everybody around us, that moment that he scored, the moment that Gunnar had given us the news, the beautiful pictures, the wedding, the emotion that was attached to both sides. It's really, I don't necessarily know that I could take much more.
Yeah, did Matt know before or after the game was played about the baby?
He had to know after. Okay. I mean, before.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming Sydney told him when we found out Thursday night.
Okay, all right.
So I'm assuming, and then, of course, Winnie plays a big role in all this. She's right in the middle of everything, as was her cousin Aria, Randy's baby, and then Clara, who's Sydney's roommate Angela's baby. It's just it couldn't have been a more perfect moment in time to watch those two stand up there. I can't even begin to tell you I'll tell you one more thing. So Darcy and Gunnar met on an app, but the app has a condition that you both have to have a mutual friend.
Okay.
That's the only way, and that mutual friend has got to okay each side of it.
Okay.
And it was Heather. Heather Feshbach was the mutual
genius.
friend.
The
well,
genius.
No, she was the mutual friend. She had nothing to do with it other than that she was a mutual friend.
Oh, okay.
So Gunnar took Darcy to her first date was a Ranger game.
Wow.
And he said that he made the mistake of not telling Darcy that he was bringing his cousin Randy and a work buddy along.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Did he run a first date?
Yeah, a first date, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So, but that's how it happened. And then they kind of knew immediately that they were going to be compatible because of all the things that they like. And, she dressed up as Darth Vader for the, for the Star Wars movies.
Right.
They love Blink-182 together. They go to these concerts. They paint themselves up. And, of course, they both love dogs, hence the two dogs that they have. And then they went through this just unbelievable moment in time to try to, through COVID of all things, because nobody knew what they were doing, I think, except for Darcy's parents knew. And they did it kind of sneaky, this whole IV thing.
Yeah, well, IVF, yeah.
IVF. And then when they told us, it was just it was a remarkable moment for everybody who's been on this journey with us and Gunnar that was there that night, but also the people that were watching that I guess had a special link. So Mike, there's not enough people to be able to thank because there's so many people that have been a part of it.
So I have to ask you, it sounds like you didn't know that they were trying, as you mentioned it was sneaky,
I didn't.
So you had no idea that
I
that
had
was
no.
going on.
I just figured, one thing at a time.
Right.
Let's go to school. See,
Yeah.
he would not be at Tuck School of Business if it were not for Darcy. So when they met, he was really, really sick. And he'll tell you that he felt like he was at end stage illness, which would have meant a lung transplant. And then Darcy came along, gave him a reason to live, and gave him something to look forward to every day. And then Trikafta, the new drug, came out. First it was Kalydeco, then Symdeko, then Trikafta, which covers 90% of the CF patients. And that combined with Darcy, and Darcy saying, come on, let's go, got him out of the house, got him off his ass, and gave him purpose in life, other than just inspiring people by his own story. And that purpose, that Darcy purpose that she gave him, really elevated him to a completely another level. I have never seen him so happy and so just touched, and by his friends and his family and her friends and her family. It was almost too good to be true, really, honestly. So.
Well, we'll take a break because there's nothing else that can be said right now. We can't now talk about the Yankees triple play or the Nets losing. It's just impossible. It will not measure up.
Yes. So that's it. We'll try to keep it to a minimum, but it was beautiful. And
there's no reason to keep it to a minimum. For it's a monumental thing. Stop it.
But for my mental health.
Okay. All right. I understand.
You have no idea. I'll break down again, so I just can't do it anymore.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.